Yellow, everybody. So this is the first video in the Versus series I'm going to be doing, where we're going to be doing in-depth comparisons on tech, performance, prices, just an overall really in-depth look at cube comparisons. I've done some before, and we'll do some of the obvious ones, some of the standard versus the higher end of cubes, like the WRM V9 standard versus the ball core UV, and pretty much all the other MOU cubes they've released in this year, plus a bunch of others. But the first video I wanted to start off doing, so a few more videos real quick. So again, we're going to compare all the standard versions, so not just the standard versus the ball core UV or the high-end version. We're going to compare how do all the standard versions from all the new cubes, how do they stack up against each other? Like, how does the RS3M V5 standard versus the YS3M standard versus the WRM V9 standard versus anything else I can think of. So how do those all, especially when those are all in such a close price point, I want to see how do the specs and the tech stack up with the prices and performance. So yeah, standards, we're going to be doing, like I said, direct cube comparisons between the high and low end versions, but then we're going to be doing a bunch of like 4x4 and 5x5 comparisons, also 2x2. I don't have a lot to offer as far as pure minx and scube and mega minx. I pretty much have like 1 or 2 cubes of those, and I don't have a lot of comparison knowledge to offer, but yeah, let's jump into it. So I pretty much did the homework already, so I have it all laid out for you guys. So what I wanted to point out, and this is an observation I made, first of all, like and subscribe if you haven't already. We got a lot of good content coming up here, a lot of time and planning went into all of this, so hopefully you guys enjoy it and hopefully it's helpful, and just trying to spread the knowledge, so that's really all this is about. But yeah, let's get into it. So what really I want to take a look at is the WRM V9 Special Edition. This has the baby blue internals and has the slightly detect version of the WRM V9 ball core UV edition. And I, like a lot of people I'm sure, heard how good this cube was when it came out, and I immediately went out and grabbed it because more so than the price, I'm always looking for just the best cube. I mean, of course price matters, but I'm not trying to waste my money, but I also want just the best cube in general. So I'm going to be doing prices, but I don't want to do it as a qualifier. Like, this is good for that price. I want to do just good cubes, and if they happen to be cheaper, that's great. But I really want to be kind of comparing performance and whatnot more than anything. So yeah, so going off the WRM V9 Special Edition, we have no edge repelling magnets. Those have been removed. We have springs instead of maglev, and essentially they've kind of made it a little more basic, but this is what everyone seemed to really like, as it's not as fast. It's not as easily to overshoot your turns. It's a little easier to control. It's a lot more user-friendly out of the box, is how I would put it. I've recently got the V9 ball core UV edition, and it was lightning fast, but with a little lube and a little breaking and tensioning, I love that cube. And so I just personally, if you can control it, then that little bit of extra help turning and whatnot, I feel like is a bonus. So I wanted to take a look at why people like this so much. I've done a real in-depth comparison and breakdown on the tech, the prices, everything, and I just wanted to see if you guys see what I'm seeing, and that it resembles a lot of cubes that were released earlier, and that I'm sure people have a lot of fond memories of, and not too much mention muscle memory of, because with cubing, muscle memory is a huge part of what we're doing. So if a cube feels similar to a previous cube that you've enjoyed or mained or whatever, you have a bigger inclination to find that cube appealing, I would feel like. It could also just feel, oh, I've felt this feeling before, I want something new, but it also could really spark ooh, this feels really nice, and you might not know why at the moment, but it might be because it's a lot like something you've tried. So this is my breakdown. So the WRM V9 Special Edition springs with the UV coating came out July 6th of 2023. 55 millimeters, 74 grams. It's a ball core, like I mentioned, with piece-to-piece magnets as well. The ball core meaning it has a magnetic core. The price point was at $43.99, so it was $1 more than their highest end cube at that time. So it was a little bit odd, and this is just my research seems to back that up. So the cubes that I saw that it really directly compared with were, say, the Tornado V3, which was released in September 17th. So it was a little bit after, but so it might not have reminded people of that, but people also love the Tornado V3, and you can see why, is because they both had magnetic cores. They were, the Tornado V3 was a little heavier at 81 grams, but they were both under 56 millimeters. The Tornado V3 was 55.5, or the V9 was 55. So they were not far off. But that really brings me, that's just one cube. But the one I really want to point out was the GAN 11. So I remember the GAN 11, oh, sorry, kitties wanted to be in the video, but the GAN 11, I remember everyone really loving, and obviously the GAN 12 as well, but the GAN 11 is what it reminds me of the most, because it has springs, it is UV coated, it has a magnetic core, but it does have adjustable magnets also. It is only 63 grams from the factory, so it's very light. It is 1 millimeter bigger at 56 millimeters, and it came out all the way back in September 30th of 2020. So this is the cube that originally got me thinking about this theory, is that I feel like the V9 reminds people of other cubes. It's just the now MoU. It gives you that rounded off kind of glided UV feeling that you get through the WRM V9, but has the same tech as a lot of these older cubes, and then is priced actually at one of the higher price points as we look at it. So that the V9, or sorry, the GAN 11, I just have the mini. I don't have the 11M Pro. I chose to get the mini version because I really like mini cubes, and this one just seemed to be what I was looking for. But anyways, it's the same as the 11M Pro, so I'll for all intents and purposes, we'll use that. But again, this has adjustable magnets, so it actually has more features. It is a lighter cube, and also comes in at, if you can get the non-UV version, at $39.99, and the UV at $45.99. And yeah, I just have to say that is, I mean, that's about the same price as your WRM V9 SE, and it has very similar features. And again, the GAN 11, it's almost, it's 11 grams lighter. So if you're looking for a light cube, same if not cheaper price with more features, the GAN 11 Pro actually might be the cube for you. So just don't jump on the bandwagon so fast, as I guess is the whole point of this video. So then going just next to that would be the GAN 12 UV. It does have maglev, but for this video I figured maglev can be exchanged for springs at any point. You can do that customization on your own. So I figured I can include maglev cubes because they're close enough. This one was released September 27th of 2021. It's at 56 millimeters, 66 grams, so it's still really light. It's just a tiny bit heavier than the GAN 11. And again, I have the GAN 12 UI free play, but for all of these purposes, this works. The price point was, right now is on sale for $53.99, normally $58.99. And that comes with magnetic core, piece-to-piece magnets, again, adjustable magnets, which, the V9 SE does not have. And everyone seems to have a consensus that the GAN 12 is probably their best cube. So again, this one being it's $10 more than the V9 right now. So yeah, this was not a bad option either. This or the 11, both are really good prices right now. They've come down so far from that $85, $90 price point when they're first released. So I just want to remind people, these are really good viable options, and they're just as cheap, if not, you know, right around the same price as the V9. So another one I had to go off was, again, I wanted to try to do the older cubes kind of first. Then we have the YS3M, which was released in March 13th, so that was really early on in 2023. So this is another one of those cubes where people could have felt it and been like, this reminds me of something. Granted, the YS3M is much more blocky and stable, but it still has this really distinct new MoU cube feel to it. And again, it's going to be a little bit more blocky and whatnot than the WRM is, but it has a ball core, so I have a magnetic core, has piece-to-piece magnets. It's UV coated. I mean, on paper, this thing is very, very similar, and it comes in at only $36.99 for the highest end version. You can get the matte version for like, I think $30 or something like that. So just pointing out, there are a ton of options out there with very similar tech inside of them. We already did the Tornado. So the one I went over to, just FYI, was the Pioneer. So you can get the spring version, but then it doesn't have, or you can get the flagship version, which would technically be like the exact same cube, have corner to core magnets, but have springs. So, and that's the world record, you know, Max Park's world record sitting cube. So again, that cube has exactly the same features, except for the magnets are adjustable. I forgot, the magnets are adjustable on the Tornado, so it has actually more features. And let's see, came in at $39.99. It's just a little bit heavier. It's like 7 grams heavier than the WRM V9 is, but this is an extremely good option. There's been a few manufacturer errors with magnets falling out and you know, cores breaking and whatnot, but I've heard they remedied the core situation, but the magnets in the corners can still be an issue, so you just got to be gentle with it. I have a feeling that comes from dropping it and, you know, aggressive behavior with it, but to be fair, I did find one coming loose in mine, and I don't throw it around or anything, but I think I have dropped it before. But yeah, I just wanted to go over, so the WRM V9 resembles a lot of the Special Edition resembles a lot of different cubes that have been released both in the past and this year. And that's really all I wanted to point out in this video, was doing a major comparison on you know, one of the most popular cubes out right now, and also just, you know, all the other most popular cubes that come out. Again, I said this was the Pioneer. I bought this before UV coating came out. This I UV coated myself, and as you can see, it actually came out really nice. You can see all sides. But if you're interested in that also, I have a bunch of videos on UV coating, DIY, do-it-yourself. If you're looking to UV coat a cube, you have something, maybe you just want it coated, or you know, maybe you want to play around with a cube that you just don't really care too much about, but it's a very easy process, and I have a bunch of videos on it. And actually, I do have one more cube, but I left this for last because this cube is newer than the V9, so people while using the V9 won't necessarily be reminded of it as a cube from the past, but they still could, you know, see that it feels similar and whatnot. This is a lot like the V9, just a slightly blockier feeling. I've said it many times, the RS3M V5 feels like the WRM V9 and the YS3M kind of had a baby, and it was these like perfectly priced and high end but very budgetly priced cube. So this has let's read the specs on this one. This one is came out, I mean, just recently this year. It came out September 25th, so right around the time, actually it came out right around the time the Tornado did. It came out right around, yeah, September seems to be a big month for releasing cubes. GAN seems to release all their cubes at the end of September most years. But yeah, the RS3M V5 was released September 25th, 23, 55.5 millimeters, 75 grams, so it's only 1 gram. The WRM V9 was 74, so we're only looking at a 1 gram difference. And this one has the ball core or magnetic core, piece-to-piece magnets, exact same setup as the WRM V9, except for this does have maglev instead of a spring. But again, you can switch out maglev for springs on your own, extremely easy. They have kits for it. It's not a biggie. That's why I included maglev cubes in this video. But this, I mean, would be my ultimate suggestion out of this video if you wanted to, find a great cube. And this is where for the price doesn't actually mean that because it's cheaper it's worse. It's just for somehow one of the best cubes on this list does also happen to be the cheapest one. So this one, like I said, has the very same specs except for a 0.5 millimeter difference and a 1 gram difference in weight. But it is almost full $20 cheaper, and this has been one of my favorite cubes of this year. The WRM V5 has been probably one of the biggest surprises. I mean, you've heard it everywhere. Everyone seems to love it, and it's not hype. It's not, them just building it up or trying to sell a cube. This thing really is amazing. I am inclined to almost buy a backup just to have one because, if you're going to compete with it, you need a warm-up cube and all that. So, but yeah, just letting you know, there is other options out there. Not that I'm hating on the WRM V9 at all. I happened to get all the different versions, and I just started breaking down the specs and really saw, there were different cubes out there that offered the same thing at all different price points. So yeah, if there's any questions, please leave them in the comments. I love answering questions. I love getting comments. Real quick, I'm going to go through the list. So we have the WRM V9 Special Edition, has the same setup essentially as the Tornado V3 flagship, the YS3M ball core UV, the GAN 12 UV, the GAN 11 UV M Pro, the RS3M V5 maglev ball core UV edition. So again, all of those are great options. They're all great cubes. Even though the GAN ones are a few years old now, they're not out of date whatsoever. It just shows that maybe they were ahead of their time at the moment. So you guys have a great day, and yeah, if there's like I said, any questions or comments, anything, leave it below. Like and subscribe. You guys have a great day. Bye. GAN 11. GAN 12. Ooh, good one. YS3M UV ball core 599. Sub 6. RS3M V5 7.4. It's an average right around 7.75. That's not bad. So that's the last one, folks. Enjoy.